Hello, what's up guys? It's Will here once again for another fight card prediction. We're here for UFC 248. Getting this out super late. As you can probably hear through my voice, I've been super ill, not been well, and kind of really been struggling. So just really trying to find the time to get this done, and got it done here. I'm going to try and pop this out as quick as I can. But yeah, I've not been in the kind of best of health for the last couple of days, as you could probably tell. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and help grow my channel if you can. So, like I say, I'm sorry if my voice sounds even more off than it usually is. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate some people were messaging me like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I've been ill." So yeah, I'm just trying to get some stuff out for you guys here. So I don't know whether what I've got. I've got a cold from my little one, the coronavirus. Who knows what I've got, but it's not good. But yeah, okay, I'm going to quickly try and get through this for you guys and not have you kind of listening to me mambling on a little bit here. So, Dana Batgarel against Guido Canetti. I like Guido in this one. Not that I'm confident that he's going to win, because I think it's a pretty low-level bantamweight fight, where you've got Guido who's 40 years old, Batgarel who's coming in here second UFC fight, and I didn't think he looked bad against Haile Alateng. What's up? Before I see you guys in the chat. They appreciate it. Thank you guys. I don't think it was a bad performance against Alateng. I think it was a very, very, very close fight. What's up, Jason? But Alateng, like you'd see the shots he was landing was putting damage on the face of Batgirl. He was really marked up by the end of that fight, and he really timed some takedowns well in that third round to take a relatively close fight and put it into his hands there. His hands actually looked okay. I thought some of his combinations really well. He get in and out really, really well. But ultimately, the kind of takedowns kind of got to him. Guido Canetti, I mean, he's a guy who's been around the UFC for a few years now. Won some fights, lost some fights. The people that he's beat are not even in the UFC anymore. The people that he's lost to, not bad. Kang, Vieira, and Henry Briones. Briones was a bit of a slugger, and that was kind of weird when he got taken out by rear naked choke. But to me, this kind of seems that this is one of these fights that he should win. He should win, but it's like I say, it's really, really close in this aspect here. I think he can maybe have a little bit of a grappling advantage. I think the Batgirl, from what I read and what I've seen, that his background is wrestling, but I don't think he's all that great. I think he's quite strong with his takedowns, but I don't think he's good at holding position and so on. A little bit worried about Canetti kind of with the age and kind of maybe staying in the fight and staying kind of active and durable through that fight. But you've got one guy who's at Team Alpha Male coming out of Argentina and Canetti. You've got Jackson Wink with Batgirl. But yeah, I'm not really super confident. I'm going to take the shot in the dog here. I'll go Guido Canetti for the win in that one there. Moving on. Giga Chikadze against Jamal Emmers. If some of you guys maybe watched the MMA Huddle, initially I went with Jamal Emmers. I'm going to change this one up actually. I went back and watched some of Giga's fights a couple before the UFC. I can't really take too much stock into that for the simple reason that he was facing guys with kind of bad records. Came in against Brandon Davis. Actually fought very, very well. Very, very close fight. Good technical striker. From what you see through his kickboxing days and so on. But like I say, his calibre opposition outside the UFC wasn't great. Okay UFC debut. Comes out of King's MMA. You have to think he's starting to make progression with his ground game. Because being there, being with Beneil Dariush through this camp, you have to think that his takedown defence is getting better. If it does get better, he's going to start really hitting people up in the feet because that's his speciality. Thing is, with Jamal Emmers, he can absolutely win this fight through his takedowns. I've got no doubt about it. It's just sometimes when you go back and watch his fights, he likes to fight to the strength of other fighters, and he's a little bit kind of lax in fight IQ a little bit. And that. I've got a funny feeling that he might want to try and strike with Giga here. And I think if he does that, I think he will get outstruck. And he's did that a few times where he's beat some good guys. Coronavirus, I might have it. I did say that I might have the corona. Who knows? You watch some of his fights, and like he fights to like on his best days, he can beat Corey Sandhagen, That Barbosa kid that he just beat, who I think's really good, and then on his worst day, he's losing to like Julian Erosa. So it's really weird how he shows up sometimes. Like I say, if he comes in here straight down the line, get takedowns, I think he will get them because Brandon Davis got that, and Amos is a better grappler than what Brandon Davis is. But I've got a funny feeling he's going to want to try and strike with Giga here at points of this fight, and I think he'll get outstruck, and I think he's susceptible to get knocked out. So like I said, I thought I was a little bit confident in Emmers, and then I went back and I watched, and like I do think he's a good prospect coming into the UFC, and this should be a winnable matchup. But I feel like Giga's going to just beat him in the feet. I think that Jamal's going to want to fight Giga's fight, so I'll take Chikadze via decision in that one. But like I said, I've switched that one up a little bit, but he's got great kicks, and I think he can maybe exploit Jamal with that. But like I said, I'd rather take another shot on an underdog in that spot. Sorry guys. Emily Whitmire against Poliana Viana. I'm going to go Emily Whitmire. Very kind of low level women's MMA. Both girls have got glaring weaknesses in my opinion. Poliana Viana, I think she's very hittable. She's very wide open. She's just there to be hit. Her movement's not really good. I think her jiu-jitsu, she was supposed to be a black belt, but she got starched in a minute by Veronica Macedo. So that's a little bit worrisome if you ask me. Came into the UFC, beat Maya Stevenson. You can't take anything from that fight. Like, Maya Stevenson was like bottom of the barrel type fighters coming in there. And then she's had some tough fights. I mean, Macedo's they're not high level girls, but they're tough girls. I mean, Cyphers is a tough cookie. Judgy Aldridge, it can go kind of hard 15 minutes. But ultimately she's kind of been found out. Emily Whitmire, she's had a couple of decent wins. Albu, she was kind of more an Instagram model than anything else there, and she was small for that division. Then you got Jamie Moyle, where that was close. She lost a round on all three judges' scorecard, and fought very close there. A couple of losses. Hebas is a good fighter. Gillian Robertson, she's a front runner. If she gets the opportunity to get on top, she will. But she can fold very, very quickly as well. Initially, I thought it was on Viana. I thought I was going to pick her here, but I'm going to stick with my initial gut feeling, which was Whitmire, but it's very, very close, in my opinion. No real confidence in the pick, so I'll pick Whitmire. Potential for a finish, but I'll take another decision to start the day there. Keep on the card. Gerald Meerschaert against Deron. Winn. I'm seeing a lot of people kind of confident in Gerald Meerschaert. And it's just a guy I've never really been super confident in. I feel a little bit kind of sorry for him recently because I think he's won a couple of fights that's maybe went against him. And that's got to be hard, taking that at the level, especially being in the UFC. Like he's had one win in his last four, that being Trevin Giles, and a couple of close splits to Eric Anders and to Kevin Holland, where he had spots in those fights where, like I say, I thought he could have probably won the fight. I kind of feel from that aspect. I mean, Deron Winn's the tiniest middleweight you will ever see, 5'6", little fire hydrant, wrestling background. I thought, I was a little bit surprised with his last fight. He lost to Darren Stewart. I thought he'd be able to hold Darren Stewart down, and he didn't do it, and I was surprised by that, because he got like 5 or 6 takedowns. He just couldn't keep him down for elongated length of time, and then he kind of got picked apart in the feet a little bit. But you seen the first fight there, he could have easily went to his wrestling and decided to strike. Meerschaert's very, very dangerous on the ground, so if it goes there, he has to mind his kind of P's and Q's a little bit. I can see this being a fight where he maybe gets numerous takedowns, so if you play DraftKings, Deron Winn might actually be a good play if you're doing that. But like someone's just said, no faith in Deron Winn. It's hard to really, after that last performance, because he looked flat in that one, but I think he missed weight, so maybe that had something to come with it. But I'm going to take Deron Winn. I'm actually going to take him via TKO. I think he might actually win via some ground and pound. So yeah, hi Andre, what's up, brother? But yeah, it's like I say, it's another one I'm not super confident at all, really. Rodolfo Vieira against Safarbek Safarov. Rodolfo should win this fight pretty easily. His line is like a -750 favourite. I think Safarov will really, Vieira will definitely exploit someone like Safarov, who's very dangerous. I think against low caliber guys, he can grapple. You're not going to want to grapple with this mofo. No danger. Are you going to want to grapple with this guy? Because this guy's so high level down there. One of the best jiu-jitsu guys we've got in the sport. With the medals that he's won, the competitions that he's won. And you seen in his first fight against Pahota, I was a little bit surprised that he took Pahota down a couple of times and actually Pahota got back to his feet, so fair play to Oscar for that. Sorry guys. And yeah, he got back to his feet, but once he gets a bit of time and then he gets the right position, you don't get back up from this guy. What I liked about that fight specifically was his boxing. He kept a nice long jab out there, and if he can start to round off his striking game to go with his jiu-jitsu game, this guy's going to be one to watch at 185, because he is a very, very, very dangerous grappler once he gets it to the ground, and not too many people will want to kind of go to the ground with this guy. So they have to try and exploit him on the feet right now while they can, because I think that's where he'll be making big improvements. So I'm going to go Rodolfo Vieira, first round submission. I think once he gets it there, he'll just kind of run riot on kind of Safarov a little bit. So yeah. Lightweight division, Mark Madsen against Austin Hubbard. I'm seeing a lot of people super confident in Mark Madsen, and I'm really not. I think he's got the kind of good type of game plan here, to the good kind of type of fight where he can get numerous takedowns. But I think that Hubbard is he's tough. He's a tough, gritty guy. I actually really like what I see from him, and his fight against Prepolek, that was the kind of, especially coming off the Darby Hamos fight, where Hamos is just an absolute beast, and he got matched up in a great fight against Arman Sarukian today for UFC Portland, I think it is, in May. And that was that's a good fight. I'm looking forward to coming forward. Dustin Poirier against Dan Hooker. But yeah, getting back to this fight here. The Darby Hamos fight, got him down a couple of times, fought Weill off his back, managed to get back to his feet against Ramos, and that was a little bit of a surprise for me. But yeah, I just got the feeling like Mark Madsen, they've kind of pushed. He's 35 years old, so he's not a young guy. He's an Olympic silver medalist in Greco-Roman wrestling. And he will go for the takedown. He's very, very aggressive. I thought he got a really nice introduction to the UFC with Danilo Belliardo. I thought that he just kind of flew through him. And like I say, Cage Warriors built him up nicely, where they gave him some big spots in Denmark and so on. But like I say, I think Austin Hubbard can fight hard here. I'm not as confident as some people are that in Mark Madsen. I'm seeing people max bet this and max bet that, and high levels of money that people say, I want to throw this much on. I'm like, it might turn out to be a bit of a domination on his side. I just don't really see it. I think Hubbard's going to fight tough, fight hard. He can go hard for 15 minutes. I think he's going to have to, because I think there is times where he could get taken down. He might struggle to get back up. But ultimately, I'm picking Mark Madsen. But I think this is going to play a lot closer to what a lot of people think, but I could be completely wrong in that. So I'll go Mark Madsen. I'll go another decision there. Sean O'Malley against Teco Quinonez. I like Sugar Sean in this one. I think the betting line is completely off, by the way. Let me just bring that up. I lost that a second ago. Minus 365. I think it was probably higher than that. That's too high, in my opinion, for Sean O'Malley. I think that should be lined a little bit closer. I am excited to see Sean O'Malley back. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think from what I've been hearing through certain people that know him, he's been rounding off his game in the last 2 years. He's put on some muscle mass. So he's, from what I'm hearing, he's coming out looking for the knockout here. He's been working very hard in his jiu-jitsu game. We've seen him in Quintet, where he's been fighting Gilbert Melendez. Hector Lombard got in there and absolutely nearly wrecked the ankle off him very, very quickly. And then you've got Teco, who doesn't really do anything well, but is very workmanlike, very, very solid with his game. He's never going to be your top 20 guy, but he will fight well against your people in your maybe 20 to 40 region, and will give. He's kind of building block for some fighters, like Nathaniel Wood. But once he gets kind of lower kind of caliber guys like Joaquin, Ishihara, Rivas, he wins those type of fights. I think Sean O'Malley is just a little bit of a level above, even though his caliber opposition isn't really that great. I think that he can absolutely knock out Teco Quinonez here. But like I say, if it goes tit for tat, I think Sean O'Malley's got too many weapons there. Will win easily over a decision, and will have more output and more kind of variety than what Teco is. I'm a little bit worried about kind of his gas tank a little bit. He fades and he's blown hard a little bit through his fights. Hopefully he's rectified that and he comes with it. I like Sean O'Malley. I've got him by knockout, actually. I'm going to take him with second round knockout there for Sugar Sean O'Malley. Alex Oliveira against Max Griffin. I've had a tough time with this fight. Ultimately, I'm going to go with Alex Oliveira. Like I said, I've bet Max Griffin in some spots. I bet him in the Imadaev fight. And you're kind of taking risks sometimes with that guy. I think he's a really tough fighter. Can take a shot, can give a shot, can grapple well, can do everything pretty well. What's up, Jack Attack? Team Haggis, baby. Yeah. He can do everything pretty well. The durability, not the durability, the way he kind of fades through the fight, really kind of worries me a little bit. But like I say, he's had some decent wins, I think, in the UFC, coming off that loss to Morono, where that's a fight I actually expected him to win. A lot of people are expecting to kind of lose to Imadaev, but I actually thought that was a good spot for him because there was some bad blood between them. He really didn't want to lose that one. Lost that controversial split to Thiago Alves. He's just a solid all-around fighter, and he's going to give Cowboy or Howboy a fight. And Howboy, I can't say, I can't call him Cowboy after Donald Cerrone. I call him Howboy, but like I say, he's lost his last few fights, and the thing that kind of worried me about his last fight against Dalby is the fact that he kind of, once he got taken down in the third, he kind of quit on himself, and that's something I wouldn't expect from Oliveira. I would have thought he would have got back to his feet, tried to make that interesting, but ultimately never did it. I know he's had a lot of shit going on outside the cage. He's been doing some dumb shit, which he really shouldn't be doing. Was looking good early on against Gunnar Nelson, and then initially got caught second round, got a massive mark in his head, like an Icelandic symbol put in his head by the elbow of Gunny Nelson, and then lost to Mike Perry. I think this is a good spot for him to bounce back here. I think he can maybe grapple a little bit. I think he can just do everything a little bit better than when Max Griffin, but I am worried that we've seen the kind of best of Alex Oliveira, and this will be his last shot in the UFC. So I'm going to take him for... I might take him for a stoppage, actually. I'll go a TKO stoppage. In fact, I'm going to go a submission stoppage for Alex Oliveira in round number 2. But like I say, it's a hard fight to be confident, honestly. So, yeah. Neil Magny against Li Jianliang. I was super impressed with Lee in his last fight. I thought he went to the next level in that last fight with Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. And he's a guy I love watching fight. I've been watching interviews with him this week. Super hyped up guy. Really looking for it. He's been talking highly about Weill Zhang. And yeah, I think he's just happy to be in a card with her. There's going to be a lot of exposure with the 2 title fights. And I mean, he's on a good run. And he's beat the guy. What the guy I like about him is he doesn't stop for a full 15 minutes. And he can take you out late in fights. And that's what you love with fighters, especially if you bet on them. If you get a decent line, that he's going to fight to the death. He'll do dirty stuff to stay in the fight, like he did against Jake Matthews, where he's reaping at the face. He's doing everything to try and scrap his way through a fight. He's a scrappy fighter. Lost obviously that fight to Jake Matthews. Beat Dalciabi. That it was a sidekick to David Zawada, where he came in there and hit him with that, and then he caught Zaleski dos Santos in the last 10 seconds and absolutely put him out in China. Massive performance and a massive card back in August of last year with Zhang obviously winning the belt. And then you've got Magny coming back. I think he came back from was it USADA suspension? So something was up with that kid with that. And then he's... yeah, I mean, knocked out by Ponzinibbio last time out. Actually, the last time I remember seeing him was the Craig White fight in Liverpool when I was there. And obviously, Craig White came in there super short notice. You don't go from Craig White to beating Ponzinibbio. But on his best day, this guy can go 5 hard rounds with Kelvin Gastelum and end up beating him. So, long, languid. I've been super impressed with the way he is... just because when he was an Ultimate Fighter, he just didn't shout out as being a top caliber fighter, but he's worked his arse off to really get himself into position to get big fights with Johnny Hendricks at the time, Dos Anjos, Ponzinibbio. But now you've got Lee, who I think, like I said, I think he went to the next level, where he's literally just about to jump into the top 15 in the division. I had some people say, but he took Carlos Condit down, but Carlos Condit is easy to take down. He's easy to kind of keep there as well. I've got Jianliang. I've got him across a 15-minute fight. I just think he's going to be too aggressive. I don't think Magny's going to be able to use his reach and that to keep him back. And I think ultimately he's going to get hit with some shots, get hurt a little bit, but I think he survives. So I'm going to take Jianliang via decision in that. What's up, guys? I see you in the chat there. A lot of guys in the chat. I'll appreciate that. Hit that like button if you can. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm sorry about the way the voice is. If you weren't with me at the start of the video, don't know what I've got, but not great at the minute. So yeah, Beneil Dariush against Drakkar Klose. This is one that's kind of dividing people a little bit. I was kind of thinking Drakkar Klose. I've been on the Beneil Dariush kind of side where people have been writing him off because of his chin in his last few fights. I mean, with Dober, Camacho, people that, like, his betting lines has been relatively low for a guy of his standard, because his chin issue against like Hernandez and Barboza and so on. But the fighters like he's been fighting, Camacho, Dober, Moises, I would expect him to beat guys like that all the time. Because I do still think he's got the potential to be a top 15 guy with the skill set that he has. I think he's got decent striking. I think he's got really good underestimated leg kicks. He's got really hard leg kicks that really complement his just his overall game. I like his overall game. I love his jiu-jitsu game. He's very good on the back. The one thing when you watch Drakkar Klose fights, that he can get his back taken, and if he does that against Dariush, he could be in a world of trouble. The durability is a little bit something I'm not too keen on with Dariush. Obviously, he's had his chin checked a few times. There's no point in me talking about the guy not bringing that up, because his last few losses have been like vicious knockouts. And he did get hurt against Devin Dunham in that fight. But when he puts it together, he's a tough guy. And then you've got Drakkar Klose, who's really moving into that top 20, close to, he's calling for top 15 guys. He's getting the step up here on Dariush. And he's coming off 3 wins himself against Lando Venata, Bobby Green, Hiagos there. All by decision, all relatively kind of comfortable for him. But there is points where he gets his back taken. I think on the feet this is going to be relatively close. Drakkar Klose is predominantly, he comes from a wrestling background. I don't think he wants to initiate the kind of takedowns and wants to go to the ground with someone like Dariush. I think Dariush might be the type of guy to do that. Try and use his strikes to kind of clinch up, get takedowns. And I think if he can get him there and get into positions where he can get get half guard, or he will make Drakkar Klose make a mistake where he could get the back. So I'm going to pick Beneil Dariush via submission here. I think he's going to continue his run of beating these guys just outside your top 20 guys and kind of go from there. So I'm going to take Beneil Dariush via submission in the middle part of that fight there. Zhang Weill against Joanna Jedrzejczyk. I have been hyped for this fight, and I've been thinking really closely about my pick, and I feel it's a hard one for me, because I think that Joanna can absolutely win this fight, and I've been flip-flopping, going back and forward, because then you watch Zhang's fights, and you can see a progression in the UFC especially, but you can see when you watch videos of her combinations are so slick, like so slick. She's got a lot of power, a lot of fire in those shots, but I still don't think, I think someone like Jessica Andrade really, and people were telling me on this channel last year, you made the wrong choice picking Jessica Andrade. Completely wrong. Put my hand up. It's what happens when you make predictions on here. You will get some right, you will get some wrong. You'll look an idiot sometimes, you look like a genius sometimes. I look like an idiot in that one. She got blasted out in the first 40 seconds. Andrade kind of walked straight into an elbow, got absolutely hurt from there. There was knees thrown in the clinch, and then she got absolutely wrecked in 40 seconds. But you cannot go back and just come off one fight. A lot of people, I think, are obviously, they see the power that she's got. Go and watch the Danielle Taylor fight. She gets hit numerous times easily in that fight. The Torres fight, you can't really take much from the Aguilar fight because she finished her so quick. Tisha Torres, I thought that's as good as a performance as anything she's had in the UFC outside the title fight, obviously. Very strong, very powerful. She's a tank. She's an absolute tank. She comes forward, very aggressive. and she looks to put it on you. But I think you've got someone, Joanna, who can keep at distance and keep moving and don't get hit. Obviously, if she gets hit, she could be in a world of trouble. I think she could get taken down. I think that I don't think that Weill will keep her there, though. I think that Joanna can get back to her feet. But like I say, I think that Joanna, if this fight goes, if Zhang doesn't get in the first 2 rounds, I think Joanna can absolutely run riot. And not run riot, that's a bad way of putting it. I think she can be dominant across 3, 4 and 5, but I think she can be dominant across the whole entire fight as well. I think this could be a really good matchup for her. Just don't get hit if you can, because like I say, Zhang's smaller. She's, like I say, she's a tank. She's very, very strong. Some of her takedowns, you see, she just grabs and kind of throws you to the ground. It's been interesting watching that girl this week through Embedded and some of the other things. She's obviously had a really shitty training camp by what's going on with the coronavirus in China, then going to Thailand, and it's kind of moved over there. Then she had to move to Abu Dhabi, so that's got to be horrible. That's got to be a kind of horrible thing, not being home for that long and being on the road and so on. But it's a big spot here, co-main event slot. She's got the queen, the former queen of the division with the most wins, title defences and stuff like that. Really tough fight. I'm going to go with Joanna via decision. But like I say, I'm here to be kind of shot at if I come out here and pick Joanna and then she gets blasted out in the first round. But like I say, I just feel Joanna can absolutely come in here and kind of pepper at distance and win the fight through that. So, but both girls look in unbelievable shape, by the way. I saw the open workout they did today. They look in awesome shape. Both girls look amazing. So, looking forward to that fight. I'm looking forward more to that fight than the main event, which is saying something because the main event is absolute fireworks, I think. And we're going to move on to the main event. Middleweight champion, the last style bender, Israel Adesanya, against the genetic freak, the one and only Yoel Romero. First of all, I just want to give props to Israel Adesanya because he has, like, he wants to fight this guy. He wants to beat him, and like Yoel doesn't deserve to be in the spot that he doesn't deserve another title shot. Put it that way. He's lost close fights to Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa. Some people swear by that Paulo Costa did not win that fight and Yoel should have got the decision. I'm firmly on the Paulo Costa side. I thought he did enough to win that fight. What's up, Kings MMA? I see you, brother. Yeah, it's just a great fight. Like I said, I was never on the Adesanya hype train. I knew he was a good fighter. I knew who he was. I just didn't think he would make the jumps he's made in his 2 years plus in the UFC. And he's shown everything you want from a champion. Elite skill set. Like I say, his striking, his pinpoint striking is unbelievable. His accuracy is like incredible. See the fight that I always go back to and I watch, and you just see him picking him off. It's the Derek Brunson fight. Everything he throws in that finishing combination, and even a little bit before that, is so pinpoint accurate, and he's picking the shots. He's picking the shots perfectly, and he's reading where the guy's going to move and everything. And then you seen that in the Whittaker fight as well. Like, he started feinting off to the sides and spinning out and catching them shots. And then eventually that led to the knockdown at the end of the first round, where he pivoted off and caught him with the right hook, the right uppercut. And then you went to the second round, and he kind of catches him with a little left, but then catches him with a massive counter left. So the guy's dangerous in both hands, not even extorting his kicking game that he's got. And yeah, his all-around game is just unbelievable. But then you've got someone like Yoel Romero, who you cannot rest on your laurels at all through any part of the fight, because if you do, you will be like Luke Rockhold and you'll be catching coffin nails against the cage. That's one of my favourite knockouts, like our favourite punches ever. It's just, after he knocks down Luke Rockhold, it's just that absolute coffin nail against the cage and absolutely wrecks Luke Rockhold's shit pretty much. So yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 people say I've got corona. That's quite funny. Who knows? if I don't show up next week, then something might have happened. But yeah, getting back to the fight, how do I see it going? I'm picking Israel to win the fight, but like I say, he can't rest on his laurels here. He has to be very careful because at any moment in time, Yoel can absolutely explode. You've seen the Weidman fight, you've seen in the Meerschaert fight, you've seen in the Rockhold fight that that he can come out of nowhere with things like that, like the Drakkar fight, the spinning back fist where he catches them, and like the one thing that I didn't really like from the Costa fight, that he was kind of playing around a little bit too much. I thought if he could stay a little bit more committed. This is why I think this fight could be a little bit back and forward. Both guys being a little bit kind of clowns, to be saying that, and just kind of showboating a little bit. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. Where I think Adesanya wins this fight, I think he will pick him apart. But once Yoel takes breaks in fights, he exerts so much energy to getting down to 185, and so much energy into his strikes that he's throwing, and the unorthodox movements and strikes and stuff that he throws, that he needs time to recharge those batteries. In that spot, that's where I think Adesanya picks him apart. I think he starts to really catch him with some shots, and just his pinpoint, accurate, fast, hard striking is going to hurt Yoel Romero. I don't see Yoel looking to take this to the ground for any kind of long parts of the fight. He should, if he can. I'm not writing off Adesanya on the ground. I think he'll be making, coming from that City Kickboxing Academy, he'll be making progress down there. I truly believe that. But I've got Israel Adesanya via knockout. I'm going to pick him to knock out Yoel, and Yoel get finished for the first time in the via strikes, I think it is, if I remember right. But yeah, I'm looking forward to those top two fights. There's fights throughout that I'm sprinkled through the card that I'm looking forward to. Guys, if you've stuck with me for the last 32 minutes, I really do appreciate it, because, like I said, I don't sound great, I don't feel great, but I have to get some content out for you guys for this card. I can't miss a fight card for you guys out there. So, yeah, I appreciate you sticking around. Like I say, if you're new in the stream here, because I know I get a lot of new people, hit that subscribe button, help me grow my channel. It's coming along slowly but surely, and people are just doing everything, like give me the thumbs up and everything. I appreciate that, guys, I really, really do. Let me know your picks in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can after work. I've got work for the next few days, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But until next week, we're in Brasilia next week. Kevin Lee against Charles Oliveira. Oh shit, what a fight. And there's some good fights scattered throughout that one. Until next week, guys, all the very, very best. I wish you well with your bets, DraftKings, whatever it may be, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Peace.